I'm making a little thing so that way if you guys make it to the final rounds of the tournament, it can be randomized by you drawing a card.
That sounds terrible.
On who goes against who.
I don't want to face this fucking barbarian motherfucker. Fuck that guy.
I want to fight you.
I don't think you understand what's going on with that barbarian motherfucker.
I don't think you understand what's going on with me. I want to fight. Been wanting to fight for weeks.
I've been wanting to get this over with for weeks. I've had all the information ready for a while now.
Yeah, but sometimes that happens.
Yeah.
Where are we right now?
Alright, yes, let's go ahead and get that started. So, last time, the group was in the midst of training for the upcoming tournament. However, during one night, you experienced an unusual dream. It started out with each of you in a comfortable room of personal preference until Mundy came barging in with tales of a rat monster. After some time, the four of you, that being Finrez, Mundy, Skull, and some metallic construct following Skull, found themselves walking through a forest, following the distant screams of a woman which led you to a mansion in the middle of these woods. You quickly found yourselves engaged in combat with shadowy beasts and fled inside the manor, upon which you concluded that this place had ties to the fox and began exploring. The group at one point had split up, and not long into your search, Finrez and Mundy found Thola, who was wearing a nightgown and armed with a wooden plank, while fending off a shadowy needle blight. Deciding to regroup, the three of you found Skull locked in combat with several shadow kobolds, which
stole his thunder.
and they were quickly dealt with, but sudden noises led you to investigate a bookshelf, and behind it you once again came face to face with Kadok, a tiefling you once rescued, dragged through an adventure, and later imprisoned. With the group back together, you continued your investigation through the manor, to which you followed the fox into a room, a memory of his, specifically the day he spoke to a scryer. After conversing with him and the elderly woman, you learned some information about his plans. And during these events, Finrez even made a blood pact with the fox, and you all agreed to meet up with him after the tournament at the Cherry Moon Tavern. As the dream was coming to a close and you were all fading away, Skull noticed a most bizarre creature. And
I did. Oh,
yes,
yeah!
you can go ahead and roll an intelligence check to see if you know. I actually brought the creature's information this time.
Yeah, he's up there.
Yeah.
Do these all include, like, a
That's what he looked like.
Let me...
I think the term with catchers.
Oh,
yes, I do believe.
Not?
Is it the combo or is it just the...
I don't like that.
You don't like it?
Yeah, it comes
Well, it's got 2 mouths.
Not a lot.
So, Skull, what was your
It's been a
total?
long
I know you said
fucking
it
time
wasn't
since I've
much.
seen that.
I don't know. I was about to
You
try
rolled
to...
a 7.
I know. I just
What?
don't know what happened to my sheet. So I think it was 6 is my bonus, so 13.
Unfortunately, not much come to you at this time, but you did flip it off.
Was it Arcana?
It was just, yeah, that works, but it
Okay.
still wasn't enough to learn anything
Yeah.
about it. But you did manage to flip it off as you faded into obscurity. Meanwhile, Retoris, your door wasn't open, so you just had this pleasant little dream where you were in town. You had just stabbed the guard in the gut, and his blood is spewing all over your blade in front of you.
I mean, I love those dreams.
And then suddenly the clouds darkened, thunder and lightning started appearing, and then suddenly a giant pair of emerald green eyes up in the clouds were looking down upon you, and a voice booming like thunder echoed through the town saying, "I found you." And just mere moments after this incident, you woke up to the cries of Finrez screaming from the other side of the tower.
What a bitch.
And when you went to investigate, you saw that his right hand had this new tattoo, this red, it looked like red veins across his arm. And from that, yes, I believe Skull and Finrez had a small interaction about it, but not much. In the days that followed, Finrez continued training for the tournament, and even crafted a few arrows. Mundy continued his cooking. Skull, I believe, worked on more toys, but
No, I worked on the construct I saw in my dreams.
Right, yes you did. You built the body for that.
Yay.
And Kadok, who was in another part of the world entirely, was freed from jail by the fox, forming a blood pact with the promises to kill a child when the time arrives.
It's supposed to be a secret!
And currently
Spoilers!
resides within the Fox's Guild. It's something that happened. We'll see who remembers when the time comes. Anyway. We are now on, and during your time you just continued trying to learn the language in these last few days, but we're now at the final day before the tournament begins, and Fenris would know, due to a flyer that he saw a few days ago, that the guild has requested all participants to show up to hear this year's revised rules. And that is where we left off. We are on the last day before the tournament begins.
Should probably find my character sheet out.
It might help. So,
I stepped away so that I wouldn't be on the phone if you guys wanted to continue.
Important mission called food.
alright, so, yes. What do you guys want to do?
Food.
Skull begins to eat.
Yeah, he's got to prepare for the big day. Like, he's gonna put on some, like, you know how people, what's the word? I don't work out.
I think I get what you're going for. It's where they like just eat a bunch of food for
Crab loading?
some
Something
reason.
like that. He's preparing his body.
Taurus, do you have anything in mind? It's the last day.
Do you want the card for the Hunter's Axe?
Yeah.
Because what's-her-face is going to be using it?
I'll need that eventually.
Is there anything I can do to my weapon to improve it in any way right now?
And
Your weapon?
Yeah.
This
Like sharpen it
light-
or something?
Well, you can sharpen it, but
Would it have any actual in-game effect?
not really. Unless you sharpen it really good.
so I want to also hint to Mundy, since he's going to be cooking up at his own stall, that wouldn't it be convenient if there was a bunch of high-quality produce, and meat somewhere in this building?
I'll give money a
Gotta at least try. It's all you
let's
gotta
see.
do, at least try.
When he opens the door, he does end up finding some more food. He was running a bit low, but he should now have enough supplies to last him the next 3 days.
Cool. I just wanted to make sure he had enough supplies for the tournament.
So he's gone through like most of the boar meat, some of the badger and snake and whatnot.
I figured regardless, like, he might want to be actually cooking with food that's meant to be food. You know? Instead of, we're just kind of hungry, so we're eating this. The boars were one thing, but the badger was kind of like, I could get some badger jerky.
Probably spending the day training.
Cash.
Huh?
I'm gonna go back
Alright.
and get more cash.
But quick question before you head off. Was there anything you wanted to do before you dragged the group to the guild to learn the rules?
No, not really. The only other thing I would like to accomplish today was like making more arrows. So I'll be right back.
So, Skull, you got a few hours before Fenris dragged you to the guild to find out what's going on. Is there anything specific you wanted to do?
Doesn't sharpening my weapon do something to it?
I'm not entirely sure. We could probably say, if you spend the time sharpening your weapon, we'll say it adds a +1 to the damage for the day.
I can live with that.
And that would go with you as well, since you asked if you wanted to sharpen it.
No, I guess I will.
I guess just work on my construct. And then get ready to go to town.
Alright. Yeah, you can each just go ahead and make a roll for if you wanted to work towards the construct and you want to train this last minute stuff.
16. I'm missing one of my.
The what?
I'm missing one of my cards.
Well, you just gave me the one for the axe.
No, I'm not that one.
Yeah, 14. Unless they add anything to it.
Not for the training. You get 2 more points towards your training number.
They give me 10 training points.
Okay. I think you have the most of everyone. Fenris has a few, and Skull's been doing other things. Skull, since you only had half a day to work on something, you end up getting like the gauntlet like halfway constructed.
Cool.
And then Fenris gets like 10 more arrows made. He's got like 70 at this point. Or something. He's got a lot.
I start firing 5 at a time.
Hell yeah.
You can try.
So I knew I had potions, but I seem to have misplaced them.
Right. You had a lot of the stuff you had gained from the cave, as well as the one you got from the tower. Those are the ones I remember.
Yeah, I'm missing my one thing that had all the shit from the cave, which is kind of upsetting.
Let me see if I
Could
still
have gone.
have that. Let's see here. Things I know the group had found magic-wise were 2 potions of healing. There was a blessed scroll, a clouded dagger scroll. That scroll's been used.
Yeah.
There was a drift glove. There was a potion of climbing, a potion of acid resistance. There was the ointment that Fenris used a little bit of.
Aha, this might be what happened to it.
There was the dust of dryness, a potion of invulnerability, and a potion of clairvoyance. Well, it's about midday now, and how do you guys plan to get to the guild? Are you gonna walk, take the moose, try the door?
Take that moose!
I think most probably the best choice.
Okay. So, Mundy gets Boomer all saddled up to pull the cart along with his supplies and tail.
Bruce would have been such a better name.
It would have been. Let's just, call it Bruce.
Whenever he's in our own.
No, let's just call it Bruce. Refuse to acknowledge Boomer as Boomer. Only acknowledge him as Bruce. Give him a complex of some sort.
There we go.
And the 4 of you...
Go right off in the sunset and on Bruce the Moose.
Bruce the Moose.
Let's see that.
We're all critical on riding into the sunset. We're actually on the sun.
It would seem Climb and 2 of the Twig Blights will want to ride along with you into town.
Is that wise?
Who cares? They ain't ours.
I was wondering because, they're evil creatures by nature.
Yeah, but they have also said that he's been to town before with them.
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
Actually, we forgot about
Yep.
So an hour later, the 7 of you arrive into town. And as you are just going through town, you notice it's a bit quieter now. And you pass through the marketplace and you just notice that when you actually go through this area, it's like deathly silent. There's no one in the marketplace today. All the shops seem closed, and you just continue making your way towards the west side of town, where you know the guild is at. And as you're heading down the path going there, you notice there's much more of a crowd now. There's all kinds of people on this part of town, walking down the roads, conversing with each other, and as you get further and further towards the edge of town, you're seeing like banners being hung up, and it seems more like the beginning, like people are getting ready for the festival. And as you are now approaching the guild,
Oh shit! Did I ever get my robe, my cloak?
he would have given it to you when he got back to town.
Yeah, I forgot. We did that in between, right at the end of the last one session. So.
He managed to buy a silk cloak for you. It'll be a bit short on Skull, but it will do what you want it to do, and that's keep some of the rain off you.
He's a tall boy. A tall Skull?
What about the badger?
Skull is like 6'8". You did not go and get that fitted for you yet.
Next, yeah.
Took you long enough.
I had to drive to my bank.
Oh, you actually got money?
Yeah.
You didn't have to do that.
Yeah.
So what do you think I was doing?
I was wondering why I was saving you so
some
long.
cash out of your car.
Oh no, I didn't have any.
Anyway, so yes, you're all...
My bank's by El Mezcal, it's not far.
Still.
Scott, you spent like half the day making 10 more arrows.
Woo!
You all headed to town using the moose and cart. You had gone through the marketplace and noticed it was quiet. Not a person in sight. The shops are all closed, but you're in the west side of town now, headed towards the guild. There are a lot of people out and about, setting up for the festival, hanging banners and flyers, and just getting ready for tomorrow. And now you all approach the guild itself. There's seems to be a line of people coming out of the guild itself, like waiting to go to the front desk. And as you approach this line, you just overhear most of them are vendors wanting to pay a fee so that way they can sell their wares at the event itself. So Monday will actually get in line for that. And you notice before heading off into the guild, in the gap between the town and the forest, there's now this like coliseum constructed. It's raised a little above ground, but you can see people like walking downstairs into it, and it seems quite large, and presumably it would hold hundreds of people who want to view it. And now you are in the guild itself. So you all enter the guild now, and you can see it is a full house. There's all sorts of people. On the main floor, there's a few people on the balcony, the second story balcony, and just within this building, you can see there's all sorts of people. You see mostly humans and half-elves. You see a few elves, dwarves, gnomes, halflings, a few Goliaths, and the Furbolg? How do you say that?
Furbolg, I believe.
Furbolg. You see one Furbolg, and they're just vast sorts of people all just conversing with each other. How do you pass the time while they're all
cry.
You cry.
Because this cat keeps shitting on everything.
I lament what they did to Furbolgs. You know what they used to look like?
Nope.
They used to look like just like 8 or 9 foot tall, redheaded, handsome men. That's it. Now they look like weird, hairy elves. Like mixed between a bugbear and an elf.
So are the two of you doing anything while you're waiting for something to happen and everyone's just here?
I'm gonna meet up with what's her face. Anna.
The redheaded guy's the old depiction.
I kind of like what they did with them. I think it's weird that they changed his skin tone, but
Yeah. I'm not saying they're bad, it's just they should have made them a different race, I think.
yeah.
So you said most of the people here are vendors?
The people in the line definitely are, and as they pay, they just almost immediately head out the door.
Okay.
But it seems like a large portion of the people in the bar area are most likely here, waiting to hear the rules like yourself.
Okay. I'll head over to the bar area.
Are you really just gonna lament over something?
That's just a momentary personal thing.
Okay.
No,
There's a sad Rhetorus in the corner crying.
what all can I do right now at this moment in time?
Not much. I was gonna have you do like a perception roll to just overhear some of the conversations, but Skull, yeah, not long after it was. You almost didn't recognize her at first because she's cleaned herself up a bit. She's normally she's like a bit dirty from working long hours, but yes, you find Anna.
Does she notice the bulge?
I think she noticed it during your week's stay with her.
Yeah.
Yeah, she did.
Speaking of which, you have 5 points towards Anna for each day that you were with her.
5 points towards what?
For training points specifically towards her. These other two have like a few points towards some other characters. I'll explain that soon, but yeah, she is suited up in this mithril splint armor.
Goodness.
And you can actually tell she's got long, dirty blonde hair, tied it back into a ponytail, and she sees you. Come in.
She sees your bulge come through the door.
And it seems that she doesn't seem to be carrying any items. In fact, well, the only one she's carrying is the axe right now. Skull, welcome, yes.
He just waves. It's a little crowded here.
Yeah, so she'll guide you over towards this bar and offer to pay for a drink.
You take it.
But yes, now that you're all here, you can each
Bitch is romancing him.
you can each make a perception roll to overhear some of the conversations going on.
Shit, he's just native enough to take it, though.
That check you asked about earlier was a 19, 18 plus 1.
Okay. What about the other two?
What am I rolling?
A perception, just to overhear some of the conversations.
What?
14.
Time out.
Scott, what was your total?
14.
14. You overhear two dwarves talking to each other, and just from the look on them, they look nearly identical. They're likely brothers or related in the same clan or something, and you can just overhear them mumbling about how they hope to win some of the money in order to hire people to investigate some sort of cave they've found. A mine, most likely, by the sounds of it. Skull, what was your total?
Oh. 9. I need to get that bot built.
You didn't hear much of any specific conversation going on. After all, you're having a drink with Anna and talking about the day's events. But you did slightly see, presumably a group of last-minute contestants entering the tournament. 3 of them seem to be humans, and the 4th you almost didn't see, as they looked like covered in black clothing, and they just practically looked like the other one's shadow, and it was just this tiefling trailing behind them. But there seems to be some more people still signing up. For you, Retourus, on the other hand, you see 2 people conversing with each other. One of them is holding some papers, and he's got this wolf pelt, wearing a cape of sorts with the head of the wolf resting on the top of his head. And as he's talking to the man next to him, he's bringing up how there's a noticeably big gap in difference of the amount of orcs that sign up this time of year. And the man next to him says, "Well, can you blame them? I mean, after all the rumors we've been hearing about, I wouldn't sign up either if we were labeled as murderers and thieves and ostracized from the town." He's like, and the man wearing the wolf pelt says, "I suppose, but don't you find that a bit odd? Have you yourself actually seen any of these rumors happening? I've only heard them from the guards." And the man he's talking to takes a moment and thinks, "Well, no, I haven't seen anything like that happening around town." The man wearing the wolf pelt just says, "Just something I found odd. I don't know what to think of it. Sometimes I wonder if these guards are even truthful in the things they say, but we don't have time for that now." And a few more minutes go past, and the place is still loud and robust with people chatting up, and you notice the line to the main desk is getting shorter and shorter as more people are signing up to pay to sell their wares, and you eventually see Mundy actually in the building itself.
I had a question.
Yes.
Can there be an area where a band of undisclosed name plays?
I think they're in a small port town called Dawnport at the
I'm
moment.
just saying, could there, since this is happening at different times?
So they're actually exactly parallel to each other.
Sure.
You see,
There's this
playing
group of ruffians in the corner playing some music.
Hell yeah.
So I had to ask on that thing I heard with my perception check, is that just like a little bit of flavor, or was that a story thread? Out of character question.
Why do you gotta label it like that?
Yeah, why
I'm
do you
just
gotta
curious.
label?
Why can't you interpret what I say
I was
and
interpreting it. I
make
just
your own
wanted to be.
decision and not be like, "At a game, can you just tell me what the fuck's going on?"
I'm just curious because I want to know if I should.
Just
commit
accept
to
it,
memory.
Ben.
I want to know if I
So
should commit to
funny.
memory. So I'm going to take a picture of your cat. Come here.
We still got a few minutes.
I try to drop hints about what's going on when
Shut up, Jacob.
I just don't know why you have to ask every time I say something.
I'm gonna ask,
Hey DM, can you explain every detail of your story
DM,
and world
how do
to
we
us?
solve the puzzle?
Well, you've had everything you needed since you got there, and despite Skull postponing it by withholding some information, I mean, you could have done this 4 weeks ago.
Oh. Oops.
But yes. So, after a few moments...
I want my picture.
I managed to figure it out.
Can I creep closer to see if I can hear what these guys are saying more?
Sure.
See if I can find out more about this
Okay, from the neck
Yeah,
down.
you can go ahead and
possible
do
mine.
It's terrible.
that.
Terrible! Wow.
It's a bit crowded, but if you really want to be stealthy about it, you can go ahead and roll a check.
Get your poopy ass out.
I rolled pretty decent.
Okay.
Hold on, let me see. 22.
As you get closer to these two brother dwarves, you do learn that it seems they come from a town called Van Delver. And the mine they speak of is something that's been lost to their clan for generations, and they've recently stumbled upon it. And have found that the place is overrun with ghouls and are hoping to hire adventurers to clear it out so that way they can
Ghouls?
reclaim the town
Worst.
and once again start making a profit.
I hate ghouls.
Yeah, I'm gonna start going to the bar.
Oh, so much for that side quest. Anyway,
Think about it. How about that?
I looked for the druid I met.
Though they are
Outside of our
dwarves, I'm
tower.
willing to help dwarves. If it was some gnomes having some issues with some
Can't remember
dwarves,
them.
fuck that shit. Let them suffer.
so wait, if it's dwarves, you'll consider it. If it's gnomes, it's fuck that shit.
Gnomes are like, help, a fairy attacked us, and you're just like, nah, I ain't dealing with that.
Bummer. Sounds like a rough problem.
Sounds like a gnome problem.
So, yes, you do in fact look for the human you saw outside the tower one day, Evelyn Woodleaf. She's actually in line to also sell as a vendor, it would seem.
I thought she was going to be a contender.
She is.
Oh,
She's
Well.
also selling.
I see.
Yes. You see the 5'5" tall female woman. She has long curled brown hair, but the left side is shaved. She's got the copper toned skin and pink eyes. Her skin is soft looking, and she has a bit of a muscular build with a soft, attractive face and a high pitched voice.
Shut the fuck up.
But yes, you do see her in line.
Is it that bad?
What?
Am I that bad?
I'm not making fun of you.
Is it that bad?
That was the character detail, and you volunteered to voice it.
No.
That is true. He was trying, and then you took over.
I did a horrible
You're just like, you're
job.
doing terrible. Get out of here.
I'll do the high-pitched voices around here.
No, I'm
Is
just-
the blind lady that I saw in the shop here?
Yes, she would be here as well.
Interesting.
But did you want to say or do anything? While...
I guess I'll wave at her and talk to her for a moment.
She waves back as she recognizes you.
I was your, what was her first name?
I literally just said it.
I know, I just forgot it already.
Greenleaf.
Was it Greenleaf first name? I thought it was the last name.
I can't tell if she's trolling with you or not.
Hey man, I only woke
Clearly
up
his first name
like an
is
hour,
Green.
or no, 2 hours ago.
I just got up after not getting any sleep because the cat's shitting all over my room.
Evil and Woodleaf.
Evelyn, alright. I say, Evelyn, how are you?
Ah, yes, I'm doing fine. How are you?
Oh, pretty well.
Your voice dropped!
I've been,
Do you have a cold?
Well, my voice actor decided to fuck off.
Oh.
I definitely hate it whenever that happens.
Yes.
Anyway,
Makes plot holes all over the place.
I asked her, do you know what, you know who your first one is going to be, or?
Oh, no, I think they'll be announcing that today.
Okay. What do you, I see you're in line for being a vendor too. What are you selling?
Oh, I'm selling treats and sweets, specifically cupcakes.
I see. Have to swing by whenever you get your,
Oh, yes, I would be most appreciated.
I guess I'll wave her goodbye and go about my merry way for now.
Alright. But yes, Fenriz. It took a while, but you do end up finding the 5 foot 3 inch tall female human you saw
Yes.
in the shop earlier. She has cropped wavy brown hair and pink eyes with copper skin. She has a muscular build, a square face, and a square, sightly face. And yes, her eyes, with the way she moves her head, she does appear blind. She's wearing some heavier looking armor with a long sword to her side.
I want to make my way through the crowd and accidentally bump into her.
Okay. Yes, you. What's
Check
your
out
end
one
game
person.
here?
What?
What's your end game here?
I haven't actually talked to her at all.
You just thrown a cork at her.
I was gonna say, you just
Yeah.
attacked her is all.
It was not an attack. I mean,
Okay.
Then you crit the cork goes in her eye and she dies.
actually, hold on. Let me edit this a little bit. I want to grab a drink, make my way over to her, and then pretend to trip and spill it on her.
You're just trying to be an asshole.
I say you're trying to get a impromptu wet t-shirt contest going or something?
He's harassing the blind.
Yeah, apparently. So as you accidentally attempt to spill your drink upon her, she was able to react in time to grab the cup before it lands, splashes up against her.
That's a fucking goal right there. You gotta test the bitch.
And she then says, she's looking around as if trying to find who dropped it, and just speaks aloud, "Is this yours?"
Oh my god, I'm so sorry. I wasn't seeing where I was going. I tripped.
Insensitive.
Yeah, whoops.
You're going to put all our blind listeners.
Yes. You must be careful. There's a lot of people in here.
There really is. I'm so sorry. You look familiar.
She's kind of holding it out in your general direction, but not directly towards you.
I grab it and I'm like, you look familiar. Have we met before?
I can't say I've ever heard your voice before. So, you're in the tournament as well?
Yeah, you're entered in for it?
Yes. For you see, I'm in hopes of getting the money to put a group together in search of a great treasure.
Everybody's trying to fucking hire people.
It's like he has these plots. And he's just trying to get us to bite on the hook.
So, what's your name?
My name is Velma de Mowbray.
Are you from Iowa, or did you travel for this?
Yes, I've lived here for quite some time now. And as I recently got a map from my nephew, who is a trader to some town across the sea. He said that he found it, but with no time or investment of his own, he has given it to me, and I can't read it.
So, you said it's for a treasure, but if you win the tournament, that's kind of a treasure in itself, so why would you need this one?
Because I hear the treasure is far more valuable than the gold that can be acquired here.
Yeah,
And if I were to get my hands on even a portion of that treasure, I could sustain my family for generations.
But you don't have enough money to just try to hire someone to read it for you?
Sadly, no. So I'm hoping to...
Well, shit, fam, I'll read it for free.
I won't read it for free. But
It's also going to be writing down every detail about it.
if this treasure is as vast as you say,
As he's writing it down.
I think me and my companions might be interested in helping you find it. For a portion of the treasure, of course.
Oh, of course, but that is wonderful news. Perhaps we should meet up after the tournament's over.
Sounds like a plan. A few of us are in the tournament, so you can kind of see our skill set. Well,
Insensitive!
not see. So, let me reword
Here's our
this.
business card.
A few of us are in the tournament, so you can see, you fucking see, you
Can have an example.
Yeah. You'll be able to have an example of our skill set to determine whether you want us to accompany you on this journey or not.
So insensitive.
Ah, yes, that sounds very good.
Sorry, it's just a normal fucking way I talk.
Insensitively.
And before you can reach an agreement of sorts, you can see this man step up onto the second balcony, and he starts coughing and grunting loudly to get everyone's attention, and asks for everyone to quiet down for a moment.
It's not yours.
I never got to interact with Anna.
Yeah, we can do something with that quickly.
I just wanted to ask her, like, since I've never tried to showcase an item, like, what should I be trying to do and accomplish here?
Kick ass with it.
Well, besides the obvious, like, is there anything I can do better?
Definitely need to show off the switch.
Hell yeah.
Try to show off the weapon to both yours and its best capabilities. Also, try to gather the attention of the crowd. Try and really hype it up.
Oh no! I want the shy guy to be.
He's just nervous, like.
No, that might be an issue. Oh no!
The more people we get invested in yours and my fights, the more potential for a higher sell we can get.
So you should have given it to the experienced arena showman.
Fuck you.
Oh, that reminds me, actually.
I gotta get my little card out of there.
Out of character. Could I get you to build my guy a weapon?
I suppose.
Like, not immediately, but
I
eventually.
know, but like, what kind of weapon are you talking here?
I want a weapon. I want a switch weapon like those, but I want it just to be able to turn from like a hand crossbow into like a regular longbow.
Oh, Simon's longbow. I knew I was going to be able to get a chance to do it.
Apparently we have a template. Anyway. But yes, this man wearing a fox pelt upon him that Rhetorus recognizes is on the second balcony, and he's holding some papers in his hand, and he's calling for everyone's attention. And as doing so, the crowd starts to get a little quieter with muffled sounds, and he speaks aloud. So everybody here is for the tournament, correct?
Yes.
So here are the things you need to know. These tournaments will start off strictly one-on-one. That doesn't mean you can't summon others through magical means, but you are not allowed to walk into the fight with others. You hear him suddenly cough and stare off towards someone, and they sheepishly kind of turn their head away. And he says, "We don't want another incident with those elementals, do we?" No. Anyway, while during the tournament, the clerics of the Saloon Church have once again volunteered their services. They will be casting some protection spells upon you to ensure that death does not come upon you in these following days. They will also be on site to provide any healing after the fights. During the fights themselves, you are allowed no more than 3 potions and scrolls used during the fights. We will not have a repeat of the man who keeps chugging the healing potions to try and win. You know who you are. If you do manage to get a hold of an opponent's item during the match, it must be returned to them once it's over. You cannot claim others' possessions for long-term use. You can bring bags and other such items with you, but if they are damaged during the fights, we are not held accountable for their repair. Anyone have any questions?
Skull just looks at Anna.
Is the number of potions and scrolls combined, or is that separate?
They are separate, but no more than 3 of each.
Okay.
Anna doesn't really say anything. She just looks content. She's fine with what's been said. Fenris, you got anything? Then if there are no further questions or comments about the issue, we will now be hanging the charts for which you will...
Actually, wait. I do have a question. I'm sorry.
Yes, Tiefling.
if somebody summons help, do we have to defeat every opponent or just the one that we started the battle with?
The one you started the battle with is what determines your victory.
I have one more question as well. Are we healed in between rounds, or do we have to stick it out in between rounds?
Your physical health will be treated by the clerics. But in the instance for spellcasters, it's up to you to manage your own capabilities.
Alright.
Both of your cats want my water. And I don't want to set it on anything because it could potentially spill onto something important.
Go ahead and throw it up on the thing.
But yes. And he's now saying, if that is all, we will now be posting the listings for who will be fighting who. Any further questions, you can just speak to the representatives at the desk. And upon there, you will find these lists of who versus who up at the front desk.
I'll rush up there. Dang. Somebody snagged him before I got there. Oh, this has got you on it.
I highlighted the player characters.
Here's your Taurus. Give me that one. You don't need to worry about that one. Oh, motherfucker, you go in second. Do me first. Where am I?
You're on the other one.
You're on the
I
other
was.
sheet.
I wasn't highlighted.
Yeah, you are.
Oh, I was? Oh, I just have a really short name. That's why.
Oh, shit.
So I imagine once we get down to those single brackets,
Oh,
then
that's
all
a
those
different
will
person.
compete.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Alright.
Now, I'll go ahead and explain the training points while you're all looking over that. So, right now, since you're all level 3, you each get 3 training points to use.
Don't I have 10?
You get 3 more. Because I just said so.
Oh, okay. I got you now. I thought
What do you want?
I thought you just only had 3.
No, you get 3 more.
Alright.
So, with these points, they can be used either before the fight or during the fight. If you use them before the fight, you can spend the point to learn more about a certain person, to which I will metagame some information to you. If, additionally, before a fight, you can give the points to someone else. Say you're not fighting someone you have points specifically towards, you can give those points towards the person who will, because any points designated to a certain person can only be used against that person. Any of the general training points can be used at any time on anyone. During the fight itself, you can expend a point either during your turn or during a reaction. If you use it during your turn, you can either you would roll a d6 and add that number to either an ability check, a saving throw, or the third option. On an ability check, attack roll, or saving throw. If you use it during a reaction, you can use the number to increase your AC for 1 turn. That is what the points are for.
So I noticed on at least this part of the bracket, there's a lot of Cromwells. Are those people related? Do we have a lot of members of a family in this? There's like 4 people in there.
4. I didn't realize there were 4. I thought there were 2.
I think there's like 3 or 4.
I see a Cornwell, a Cornwallis. I only see 1 Cromwell.
I do actually have a question too. There's about all these have like 1 or 2 empty brackets.
Just someone didn't sign up for that spot.
Okay. So they're gonna fight the.
They would
loser
essentially
of the
just
last
move
one?
on to the next day.
Automatically advance. Alright.
Maybe there's only a couple. You have Sybil Cromwell and Gorvinal Cromwell.
Okay, then I guess there's 2 with the same name.
Okay. I thought I saw another one.
I think there's one that's very close in the spelling.
Cromwell.
Those
Let's see
2
that
are
one.
probably related. Yeah, I think
Skull Smasher. I want to fight that guy. The blind chicks in your bracket were Taurus.
Let's see. Where's
Your
Where's
druid.
yeah, my
She's
druid.
in mine. She's kind of a ways down, so I'd have to get like 3-4 rounds in to fight her, but
Better not mess with her face.
I fucking will. I aim every shot right at her face.
Is there a reason you say that, Ben?
Doors might have a little thing for it.
Oh my. So, everyone understand what the points are for?
Points don't matter.
So you said we can learn to kind of metagame our.
Yes.
Do
you want to use any of those at this time?
So like you use like 1 point to like
So,
learn just what
if
class
the
they are.
point says it's for a certain person, they can only be used for that person. Otherwise, you would just use the training points towards anyone. But once you use the points, they're gone forever.
So they don't really matter.
They do matter. They can help you in the fight or give
We
you...
got some siblings in here.
Mm-hmm. Siblings, clan members. Some people just end up with the same name. It happens.
I guess I'll use one of my training points to learn about my first opponent.
You have a tabaxi named Bat? That's adorable.
Yes. Okay, let's see. Your first opponent. It's whatever. I'll just kill Mundy. That'll make me feel better.
There you go.
How many bonus actions did you say we could cast in a turn? We could use in a turn?
For a spell, 1.
Okay. So if it's a spell, we can only do 1, even though it's a bonus action.
Yeah, I'm not gonna let you cast your 3 spells all in one turn, Scott.
Why?
Because all ranger spells are apparently bonus actions.
Fuck yeah, they are!
You can do up to 3, but you have to explain how you do it.
Okay.
Because, for example, let's say you want to shoot with a bow, and one of your bonus actions requires a hand. Well, you have to use both hands to use your bow, so can you do it?
Luckily, all 3 of mine are vocal only. So all I have to do is shout a bunch.
But yeah, with spells, there's the hard limitation of 1 can be used as a bonus action.
Yeah, that's fine.
My name's Scott, and I like to use all 3 of my spells on turn 1. Thank you.
Hell yeah.
Actually, hell, let's just throw in the 4th one because of an action.
Hey, if he hits me back, I can do Hellish Rebuke.
Yeah, that one's, as long as you don't use your reaction for something such as attack of opportunity. There are a few other options.
Yeah.
Yeah. That one specifically uses your reaction. But also remember, some of those, if not most of them, require concentration, so you can only have 1 active at a time anyway.